All right, gang. Jason here for the love of tractors, and I am with this nifty Mack dump truck by DCP. This is custom. I did a little custom work to it, and by a little custom work, I mean I weathered it. I don't want to take too much credit here. It was pretty sweet looking before, and I probably should have done a video of it before I weathered it, but I don't know. I was excited. What can I say? Um, um, so I saw this at the Janesville show. Steve, who was across the aisle from us, had this. I was staring at him like, ooh, boy, if I have a decent show, I'm getting that for Dogtown because I feel like Dogtown needs a bit of a township truck or something, just running around, throwing down gravel or whatever, whenever it gets the chance. So that's the plan with this Mac. So, just a little real quick, what I did is this had a logo on the side of it. Took that off, little acetone and a Q-tip. You can get that right off. You just got to be a little careful. And then I obviously weathered the whole thing. Now, just looking at the truck stock, things I like about it. Obviously, the mirrors look great. The dump bed, I like. So I'll be honest. I've dull coated the dump bed. I thought the dump bed was an odd shape or an odd color of gray when I got it. I liked it, but I didn't love it, so I thought it needed something. So I hit dull coat over pretty much the whole dump bed just to kind of give it this older look. Same thing on the hood, the top of the hood, most of the roof except for a few spots, and then the top of the fender, and then a few spots on the sides. And my thinking was that this truck is probably parked beside other trucks or other equipment or something like that. And so the sun damage, the sun fading is going to be mainly on the top. Like I said, I did do a few spots on the side, but I dulled the top mainly and I left some glossy on the sides just to kind of give it that look. Also dulled around the door and places like that. Thought that might be a sort of high traffic area, if you will. Now, as far as weathering goes, what I did is I used some Tamiya weathering powders, and then I used some pastel chalk that I got from Hobby Lobby. I've done weathering videos before. You can check that out. I'll probably do another weathering video this winter though, because my techniques changed a little bit. I've added some things, taken away some things, so we'll do that. And then the other product I used here is called Vallejo Mud. It's called Thick Mud, and I will do an entire video on the thick mud eventually. Really, really neat stuff. Yeah, it's fantastic for muddying up something. So, kind of first and foremost, the thing I think you're probably going to notice the most on this truck is the dirt, the grime, and the sort of wear and tear. So I made some wear using silver, and I dry brushed it on where your foot would go when you're stepping up, and then I used the pastel chalk that I made into a powder to use for a lot of my kind of dirt spots and things like that. And what I did basically, and I highly suggest you guys do this if you're wanting to weather something and maybe you don't know where to start or whatever. I just went and looked for Mack dump truck pics on Google and sort of found things and then tried to make it look like that. Now, I did not mess under the hood too much, but I did, and you might be able to see it. I'm not sure how well it's going to show up. I did put some Noon oil, which you can get at various hobby stores, and it's kind of for like looking like leaky oil and things like that. And I did place that kind of on the manifolds here and things like that, just to sort of dress that up and give that a little something extra. This Mac does dump and it does stay up, which is really nice. So pretty good dump height. I think it'll actually go higher than that if you kind of push it. And the rear tailgate opens. Just gonna swing it around to the front. I left the bumper pretty chrome, but I also dirtied it up. I just dustied it up some, but I didn't dull coat the bumper really. I don't know. Was debating on doing that, but didn't. Trying to kind of get like, I don't know, dirt in places, but not overdoing it, if that makes any sense. I don't, you don't want too much, but you definitely want some. Coming around to the side, you can really see my Vallejo thick mud right here. I'll see if I can bring that in closer on the fender. You can see that right there behind the rear tire. So what I tried to do was kind of get that mud up in the fenders where I thought it would be. And then I also lightly brushed that on the treads and then in some places of the tires as well, or the wheels as well, because if you're hauling through some mud, like let's say it's winter time, it's soft, you're a road commissioner, you're hauling to a road, this is, you're going to get pretty dirty, pretty muddy, and so that was kind of what I was going for there. So I hope that makes sense. It made sense to me. I think it looks pretty cool. Like I said, just kind of getting some dirt in various places with the pastel chalk and with the Tamiya weathering powder. I probably should have done something, looking back, a little different here on the exhaust. Maybe rusted that up or something. So that might be something I can still go back and do. I did dry brush some silver into the bed to make it look like it was, it has been used. It's been dumped. Maybe we had rock or something like that in there. And then I put in some dirt and mud to maybe look like it's starting to rust a little bit, maybe several days after that. On the back end here, just again, mud on my mud flaps with the Vallejo thick mud, and also kind of on the wheels, and then I did a little bit on the differential, like it kind of splashed up there. I even weathered some of the bottom. I mean, you can see, some mud and things of that nature up under the bottom. I think it's, it's something you kind of want to do. You don't want it to be perfectly clean under there either. And then my rear tailgate, the thing I was trying to do back here, and I think it makes sense, is to make everything look vertical that I weathered, because obviously it's going to be coming out of the bed, or it's going to be sort of blowing over the top and coming down. So I wanted more vertical lines there versus maybe more of a horizontal feel to the sides, because I'm thinking the mud's coming up here, the dirt's coming up here and blowing around the side. So anyway, that's my thought process with that. I hope it looks good. Hope it makes sense. You guys know, not a huge truck guy, so I can't really tell you the particulars of this Mack, but I think it's super cool looking. I thought it was really cool looking before, but now that I think I've got it weathered up, I'm kind of in love with this thing. So leave comments down below what you guys think of this Mack dump truck, and how do you like the weathering job on it? So if you want to find one of these, DCP does have these, obviously clean, not weathered. They're like $60 at a show, something like that. So, that's about what you're going to pay for a decent truck these days. And then if you add a trailer to it, you might as well go up into the $100 range. But this dump truck, like right around $60. So, anyway, guys, that'll do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Have yourselves an awesome day. Happy tractor or truck hunting.